to the TM Ace live stream. I am your boy HappiDaze, doing some TM runs, doing whatever we want to do. Like I said, feel free to definitely reach out if you are in chat and let me know what things you want to see, what things you want to do. I'm going to do probably maybe like an hour and a half of just hanging out, chilling with you guys, answering questions, talking, and yeah, we'll kind of have fun from there. So let's go ahead and, as you can see, we're in the middle of a treasure map super run at the moment, which is always fun. We are currently rank 333. We are trying to go for top 500. That's kind of the goal there. I'm a little low on tickets at the bottom there. Love to see that. So obviously anything like that is great to get, and we like to see that. So yeah, go ahead and feel free to ask any questions in the chat. It's all about what you guys want to do. We're here for you guys for any questions you might have. And yeah, we'll just play on and see what happens there. Back-to-back 3 enemy cards. So I'm just going to use one here. Like, you might as well use one. Looks like I had already defeated 2 before, so that is kind of a waste, but it's not a big deal there. So for those of you who don't know, because I myself wasn't aware of the strategy, if you are going for high in TMs, what people are actually doing is basically defeating one mini-boss and then leaving the sea to raise the nav levels. Gets into bonus maps quicker, so it's actually really interesting to see that that's how people end up getting up to like 1000 level on here, even though obviously they don't, they're not grinding that far. But it's really interesting some of the ways that the One Piece community is kind of coming in and being able to go ahead and get that and just make sure that people are ranking high. And with any big event, so obviously this is right after the One Piece Day event, so you have just tons of people who are playing the game, who are out there doing things. So it's great. You do have to see the community come together. Big events like this always make people excited, you know, get the blood pumping, and it's fun. So just a recap of those of you who don't know what this mode is specifically. So for this event, this is the first actual Super TM mode that is out there. So for those of you who might not be aware, typically what will happen is that normal TMs, you're just playing against your own ranking. Well, your ranking, your personal ranking. Alliance things don't matter, but for this new Super TM, very much like the Super Kazuna that comes out, there's a alliance reward for how well your alliance does as well. So it's really interesting to kind of get in there and see what can actually happen. I did recently change alliances, so for those of you who are watching part of my old alliance, I just want to say a huge shout out to you guys. You guys are absolutely fantastic, the best people. Discord chats and things like that are always fun, and there's like no better group of people there. Unfortunately, I wanted to do still a bit more competitive stuff, so I ended up joining a little bit more competitive guilds or alliance, but ultimately, like people are awesome, right? So appreciate your alliance members. They kind of make the game fun. They make it what it is. For me personally, I had 3 or 4 friends at one point who were actually playing One Piece Treasure Cruise, but I've all since then have left. So unfortunately, you know, the discussions that I have on One Piece Treasure Cruise are mostly focused on Discord, on my alliance, and things like that. So it's great to have a group of people you can just talk with and do things with. So as you can see, we're taking on the Super Boss stage here against Kaido. Stage 2, we're just going to use the Ace-Skirt, the Paralysis Orbs, and I have a video out here that has all this of what we're doing here. So of course, if you want to see exactly what we're doing, the strategy, you can go ahead and watch that video. But pretty much we've been following this strategy so far. It's working really well. I can't really complain out there. And yeah, well, like I said, you can see we're right around the 300 rank, so it works even up to this point. We'll have to see what level nav I'm at too. I've gotten a lot of the nav charts. Unfortunately, I don't have the Momonosuke from the One Piece Day 3 Legends that came out there. So he would give guaranteed help on there, but of course I didn't pull him. I didn't even waste any pulls on that part just because I had pulled the Luffy and the Yamato, which were really the kind of the important units there. So it didn't really make too much sense to go ahead and spend any more gems on that, especially when we have a couple good characters coming down the road. I'm pretty sure that based on the anime, there'll be a Garp Aokiji coming down the road. There's another character who we've been waiting for a while. If you know, you know. but I'm not going to spoil that. But I will give the hint that he is coming out in, it looks like One Piece Bounty Rush. So if you play the other One Piece game on mobile, it looks like that unit is actually coming out there. So yeah, we might see that unit on Treasure Cruise sooner rather than later. We'll just have to see what happens there, but that's kind of what it looks like. So, like I said, this stream is about you guys, so just make sure, if you have any questions at all in the chat, you want to talk about anything One Piece Treasure Cruise related, whether it's questions, whether it's advice, whether just venting about game modes or different things. That's what these Friday night chats are for, just to hang out while we grind some TM. Get to talk with the player base, get to know the player base, and just have a bunch of fun there. So let's see, we fully cleared the sea. And let's see how many what nav level we're actually up to here. So it looks like we're up to nav level 112, roughly. So yeah, I mean, we're getting up there. Obviously, we haven't done 112 clears. I think we're probably sitting somewhere around like the 53, 54 range, roughly, if I had to take a guess. So you can see we've got a lot of the bonus charts that just help us raise. So if you had the Momonosuke, if you pulled the Momonosuke from this banner, then the good part about that was that he makes the chance, I believe, 100% for pulling those making the success rate of those nav levels much higher. So yeah, we're going to just go ahead and use the cannon just to kill 3 bosses off the bat. The thing I look for, so there's a couple different runs on here, right, or a couple different patterns that you can get on the treasure map screens. This is actually my favorite one because if you get a 2, a 3, or a 4, you're pretty much guaranteed to be able to grab one of the birds and get the 1.2 times boost. So usually on these, I don't have to use cards, which is good. So you see again, in this case, I can just go 2, we'll grab this bird right here, and that's a pretty quick path to get to the end anyway. So that's good. We probably, I'd say, have like a 90% success rate so far in terms of getting the birds, getting that 1.2 booster, which makes a huge difference in terms of just output of raw damage. So I am going to use that slingshot, just take out 1 enemy. That means that we'll only have to take out 1 more when we get to the final boss, which of course is great. This is the annoying part of this season, is that this loading screen just takes forever. Like, I could write a novel. I could finish the Song of Fire Ice or whatever in the time it takes to literally get through that loading screen. So yeah, it's a giant pain this season. I imagine if you're one of those people who are much crazier than me who try to rank for like top 10, then it's probably super annoying because it comes down to just lag for that to load up, and you're trying to maximize your runs, maximize the time that you're doing things, and it just becomes pretty hard to do when you have long loading screens like that. So again, for the invasion boss, we always just skip a turn, make sure we have a positive orb on the Yamato. So one interesting thing that I was developing when I found out that Totsuki had pulled all the units and figure out what to replace for the Momonosuke here, this Nami and Karina unit works like absolutely fantastic. So the benefit here is that we're able to, usually if you look at Toadstie's team and how he did it, he's using the Yamato to remove the type disadvantage slot debuff that we get on our crew. But luckily with the Nami and Karina unit that we have here, we don't even have to worry about that because the super switch of the Nami and Karina will give everyone great orbs or the G orbs there, and then the Luffy keeps his Wano orb there. So it just makes it like insanely easy to do, and I can use the Yamato unit to take off that pain debuff. It just makes it a lot more effective, and you love to see it. So we're gonna use the Zoro special here. We have to wait for our supports to kind of lower the cooldowns. So while we're waiting for here, and while we're kind of grinding, I'll just give my thoughts so far on this Super TM. So the good news is, I think, on this TM compared to much others, the multiplier is much higher, right? So I think the biggest issue that I've heard from people, especially newer players in the game, is that, getting to that 10 million, getting to that 15 million is really tough. Assuming that you can get into the, the higher leagues, of course, you're not in East Blue, where it doesn't really matter as much, or it doesn't have as high point thresholds. But once you start getting to, like, New World, where you could have to get, like, 50 million to get the max rewards there, it just becomes a pain there to be able to get that through normal TMs, right? Unless you pull all the boosters or a good chunk of them, it becomes really hard. So what I do like about the season is they kept the point limits there at the same as what they usually are, but because the multiplier of the points was so much higher for the season, it was much easier to get there. Like, I think I had actually hit the first multiplier within the first day, like the max rewards in the first day, which is kind of insane there. So yeah, I definitely do like that change. I do like the fact that there's the ability to get an alternate pen in the rewards that are there. I believe it's the Alliance rewards. If you're top, I want to say it's if you're top 100 to 500, you get a alternate ink pen, which is fantastic. Unfortunately, I wasn't paying attention, and I should have used the slingshot before. If I did, I would have been able to basically take off all 4 bosses, but I didn't. But we move on. So let's keep going here. We'll see if we can't kind of get through this run pretty quickly. So we got 2-4 runs. So what I typically try to do in cases like this, where you have 2-4 runs, is basically try to use one of them, right? There's not a lot of value in having 4s. I find the 5s actually have a little bit more value, just because on one of the designs that are out there, and we're actually going to discard that one, I think. In one of the designs that they have out there, you really want to get either a 3 or a 5. So, oh, nice. Some additional stamina there. You love to see that. So what we're really trying to do there is just make sure that we can, increase our chances of landing on those bird spots. That way we can get the most bonuses out of it. So that's kind of the game plan going forward and what we try to do. Doesn't always work, but that's at least the game plan. So we defeated all the 4 bosses there, so that's good. We only have to take on the Kaido unit itself. Makes that run much quicker. Like I said, ideally if you're going for crazy high rankings, you're probably not going to be fighting all these bosses every time like you've seen me doing. You probably have much better ways to do it, but that's just how we've been doing it for this TM. Again, first stage, you just do one turn of attack and just hold up there. And then turn 2, you can just go ahead and kill. Now, for those of you who aren't aware, so we do have a bunch of new units coming down the pike. So we've got a 6 plus Akainu already slated to come down. So I imagine that at the next Kazuna we'll probably be getting the skulls for both that Akainu as well as the evolution of the Hiyori unit that just came out as part of the Grand Feast there. So, like I said, I think those will be the 2 Kazuna characters. We did get some wars that we're going to be getting a Whitebeard character as well. So that'll be interesting to definitely see. I think I've seen just some preliminary stats on him. He didn't look that impressive, but I haven't really done too much of a deep dive into what that Whitebeard can actually do. So yeah, I probably won't be pulling for that Whitebeard specifically. But yeah, that 6 plus Akainu that will be coming out as part of Kazuna actually looks like there might be some value there, especially on like the PvP side. So it'll be interesting to see, how that strength team, which is already getting pretty good with the Ace, the strength Gear 5 Luffy, and now maybe the Akainu might fit on that team as well. So it'll be interesting to see. So welcome into the stream if you just joined us. Hope you are having a wonderful Friday night. Hopefully your TM grinding is going well if you're choosing to grind TM. Otherwise, hopefully you're having fun and chilling on OPTC. If you have any questions, feel free to just throw them in the chat. That's what these Friday night hangs and chills are for, just so you can kind of ask any One Piece questions you might have. No questions dumb, and I'll try to answer it as best I can, or if I can't, I could always reach out and figure it out and get some information back to you. So for this killing of the boss here, we're just going to use the Yamato special and just keep hitting, and we don't have to use any other character, and we can just keep on killing the Kaido unit there. If you are participating in TM, let me know in the chat what level you are, what level you're going to, or is there any certain reward structure you're shooting for, and what league you're in, if you're in Grand Line or East Blue or New World. I typically find that there's a pretty good variety of people when we get more people in here who are in all kinds of different leagues. So it's kind of interesting to see how different play styles are. Some people are just East Blue, get your rewards and dip, and others are going top 100 in the new world. So there we go. Yeah, so we're down to about 323. So in 2 runs, we ended up dropping about 10 spots. So what it seems like, at least from a time zone perspective, is I'm on the EST time zone right now. So currently it's 9:45 p.m. EST. Typically what I find if you're trying to go against some of the heavy grinders is that a lot of them are on time zones that are kind of much more say European or Asian based, where you have like a 5 or 6 hour delay. So what you'll typically see is you'll see a lot of the players going like super hard, and it gets like super hard to rank up in the morning until maybe about like 11 a.m. EST. And then it definitely calms down for a while, and it's easier to rank. So just to give you an example of what that would look like, I've probably been grinding most of the day, and I started the day at like 3:40, and I dropped down 24 slots. Now, very similar to what happened yesterday. I was in a kind of a similar rank, and just for a couple hours of grinding last night, I ended up getting to I think it was like 260 before I went to bed, and then obviously I woke up and I was at 344. So yeah, if you're based in the U.S. or you're on East Coast or West Coast time, you definitely have the advantage during the nighttime to catch up. So don't get discouraged if all of a sudden you log in the morning and you're like, oh my god, I'm like so far behind. Because if you just keep grinding, especially once that 11 a.m., 12 noon hits, you'll be able to gain a bunch of ground there if you keep on up. So just an interesting note that I seem to notice. Even guild members that I've talked to who are in really competitive guilds, a lot of them aren't all US based. So yeah, good global representation, which is awesome for One Piece. But yeah, it makes these times interesting in terms of when people are competing and when they're going for events. Alright, we're finding the ace unit here, and we just messed that up, but that's okay. We'll see what happens here. Hopefully that doesn't screw us up, but we shall see. Let's see, we might have to waste a gem here. I was not paying attention. And just kind of cost myself a round there, but that's okay. We'll see. We might actually be able to luck out because we only need the Zoro special to go before the Yamato goes. So let's see if we can't luck out here. Nope, we're not gonna luck out because of the gloom. The support got triggered in the second stage. Okay, so yeah, we're gonna have to eat a gem here. That was my fault. I was not paying attention to what I was doing. But it's alright. It is what it is. So let's just go ahead and just use a gem there. And then we'll just attack like normal. So we can get rid of whatever buff we want. We don't have to deal with the pain buff anymore. So yeah, we'll just get rid of that one. So let me know if you pulled on the One Piece Day Sugo Fest. Let me know what parts you pulled on. Let me know if you were lucky to actually be able to get anyone. It seems like for me, at least, if you saw my pull videos, I ended up being able to nab basically the Yamato in 4 multis in part 1, and then I stopped, and then I unfortunately had to go to 30 multis on part 2. But I did end up getting 2 copies on the 30th pull, so I guess that was okay. But yeah, it was some brutal pulls. Trying to get to 30 multis there was not fun at all, and yeah, it was just a general pain overall. So So the downside about this mode that I really wish they changed is I wish they let you refill stamina here with the meats. So currently you can only refill your stamina if you level up while you're playing or you gem to do it. So that's kind of a pain. I really wish they would change that. I have like 180-ish meats just from saving from the recovery from the treasure island that they have there, or training grounds, I should say. So yeah, would be nice if we had different ways to restore stamina, especially if you don't want to have to gem. It's a pain to do one gem to get 100 stamina. Like I said, if you're going for ranking, that's where you kind of really start seeing the difference. So the difference between getting like top 500 and top 1000 is 20 gems. But like the grind is insane, so you do have to do like a kind of a cost analysis of what you want to do in terms of, you know, how many gems are you going to spend in revives or in refilling stamina, and just make sure you don't go above like that 20. Otherwise, it makes no sense actually going for that. So we go ahead and take on this team. So we just stall for one turn with the Hiyori, then we just kill everyone. Stage 2, use Zoro special, and then stage 3, we just go ahead and kill. So up to 100 plus nav levels, these teams have been perfect. I haven't had to change them at all. The only team that comes kind of close now is the Queen team. It gets a little bit close with damage, so that might have to change before the end. We'll see. Typically on the last day of TM, like, people don't play nearly as much, right? Most of the time spots are pretty locked in, so people, you know, don't spend as many gems because they know that if, let's say, where I am at rank 320, there's not a good chance that 120 people are going to each spend like 20 gems to catch up at that point, right? It's more than likely that people are just going to say, all right, whatever, I'm fine with being in the top 500 if I can get it. Otherwise, you know, I'm fine being in the top 1,000. So that's why you'll see if you there was a nice graph. I think Fade of Muffins on the OPTC Reddit actually posted something one time where you could actually see like a trend line of like how it kind of went down, you know, over the course of TM, and it gets kind of lower day after day after day. Obviously, first and second days are the most insane. Third days are still pretty high, but you really see that drop off on the fourth day. So for those of you who just came in recently, welcome to the Friday night live stream. Glad to have you guys here. Let me know if you guys pulled on the One Piece Sugo Fest. I want to hear how your luck went. I want to hear you guys say you got all the units in 5 multis. Hopefully you did. And let me know what you think of this new Super TM. Are you excited about it? Do you like some of the changes with the points, with having your alliance in it? Would love to hear some feedback from the community to see how that is. Also, if you guys have any questions at all, if you want to just talk about the One Piece game, if you want to rant about anything, feel free to throw some comments in the chat there, and we'll tackle them as they come in. And we'll just have fun. We'll chill. If you guys want to see other stuff too, I'm completely open to that. So if you're like, hey, you've been doing TM for a while and it's kind of boring, let's do some PvP stuff. I want to see the new Luffy in action. We could certainly do that as well. Or if you want to say, hey, there's a piece of content I'm having a hard time beating, can you give me some advice? You know, we can do that as well. So we're here for you guys. It's just a hang out, really nice chill fest. So yeah, if you guys have any preferences of things to do or talk about, feel free to just drop it in chat at any time. This is a really annoying Albert boss, just because of the special bind that gets applied to us. Luckily, Carrot Nami can help remove that, and then it's just a matter of using it on the crew. I'm still at the point where I don't have to actually use Luffy special to clear the content, which is good. But if things get kind of hairy a little bit later on, I could stall a couple turns and then use Luffy special just to kind of keep getting through the stage. But right now, it's not needed. And it's just a matter of making sure that you end the tapping with the Bon Clay special, that way you get the recovery orbs. And that way you can go ahead and make his type strength. Just makes it much easier to kill. And then usually within 2 or 3 units you can kill him and not have to worry too much about it. Hey, thanks Eric. Good to see you. Welcome to the stream. Glad to have you here. Glad that you're a new watcher to the channel. Hopefully you enjoy some of the videos. Particularly, hopefully you enjoy some of the ones where I get shafted in polls. Like, honestly, that's one of the reasons I created this channel, is just because, you know, you see streamers like Toadski or Stump, and they just have, like, insanely good luck. So one of the things I wanted to show is just, like, how that's not always the case, right? Like, I usually have pretty bad Sugo luck. It's all RNG, of course, at the end of the day, but hopefully you like some of the videos where we get shafted, and then hopefully you like some ones where we pull some of the units in like one shot, right? If you look at the New Year's Legends, right? Like I got like insanely lucky with my pulls there, but most of the time they're not very good. So hopefully you guys enjoy that kind of content. Oh, nice. How did you do, Derek, on the One Piece Sugo Fest pulls? Were you able to get all 3 of them? Did you do pulls on certain parts, or what was your strategy going into? Yeah, yeah, Admir, 30 pulls is brutal. Especially, it depends what the unit is. Like, it's a lot more easier, I think, in my opinion, to take if the unit is like a versus character, right, where you're getting kind of 2 in 1. So I was okay going to 30. But in that case, if it's not like a good character, if it's like a single character, unless they're broken, it's tough to go to 30. Especially if you're free to play, right? I know some people don't spend money on the game, which is completely fine. That's probably the best way to play the game. But yeah, it could be extremely disheartening if you're free to play and you go to 30 multis, and it just you see a lot of people. If you go to the OPT subreddit, can't speak today. You'll see a bunch of people who will come back for events and quit because they'll be like, "Hey, I left for 8 months, came back, collected a bunch of gems, and pulled, and got absolutely nothing." So. Yeah, I mean, it's brutal, and I wish they had a better system for letting you get older legends and things like that you missed out on, or like more like a guarantee, similar to like what they have on Bounty Rush or what they have in Dokkan for DBZ. It would be, I know they have like the coin exchange here where you can kind of do that, but it's not quite up to what's there in some of the other gacha games that make it a little bit more fair. Oh, that's awesome, Admir. Congrats. Got him in the second multi. Oh, you love to see that. Congrats. Was that the only... Were you just pulling for the Luffy, or were you pulling for some of the... Oh, sorry. Yeah, were you pulling for just the Luffy, or were you going for the other units too, Admir? I see Derek was free to play. Watching my summons. Oh, you got Luffy in the 3rd and Yamato in 2. Dude, that is fantastic. Congrats. That is insane luck. That is really good. That is fantastic luck. When that happens, like, you just want to go out and buy like a scratch ticket, right? You're like, what are the odds that you would do? You would be that lucky. So yeah, that's awesome. Congrats, man. I'm curious. Did you pull for the Yamato unit there, Derek, or were you just happy with the Luffy Yamato and really didn't care too much about the TM? So you just didn't really do any pulls there, or did you try any pulls there? Hey, yeah, no, there is absolutely nothing wrong with that, Admir. Like, that is 100% the game plan. Like, especially like good versus units, like that's what you should go for, right? Like, the Yamato is good. Don't get me wrong. Like, yeah, she's great in PvP and all that stuff. But yeah, if you were a free-to-play player and you were saying, hey, you know, what's your advice? What would you do? I would say just go for that versus unit there. I'm curious, when you say you're free to play, do you do the gem packs at all? Like, do you do the, what is it, $9.99 a month gem pack where you get 4 a day, or are you like completely free to play? And also, Derek says he got Shanks and Int Luffy Gear 5. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, that Shanks is pretty awesome to get. Any of those anniversary, sorry, not anniversary. Any of those units were just really, really good, right? So, yeah, even if, you know, eventually the tricky part about those kind of units is that they don't come back often, right? So you only see those units again on anniversary banners and stuff like that, right? So that's what kind of makes it tough. is that if you don't pull some of those, sometimes it could take 6 months to a year before you get another chance to pull them, which is always kind of a bit of a pain. Yeah. So okay, so your focus was Luffy was kind of probably first, but you kind of also had some you kind of going for those other units there as well, which is good, right? If like for me, because I already had all those units, like I was just pulling for Luffy. I mean, obviously dupe copies would be good. I ended up pulling a dupe copy of Shanks myself, but yeah, it's a good feeling when there's multiple things that you can actually get benefits for on the banners, right? It actually makes it feel like it's worth pulling for. As opposed to, like, if you're just pulling for one unit, it can be kind of a bummer. Especially if you don't see, like, red hockey or anything like that. It can be a bit of a pain. Oh, nice. Add mayor. That's awesome, yeah. Well, like I said, stick that way. Originally, when I started playing this game, like, 8 years back or whenever it is now, that's kind of like the approach that I was like, oh, I'm gonna be fully free to play, and I actually did that for quite some time, probably a good like three years or so. Of course, it was like easier back then because they didn't have like the frequency of banners they have now, right? Like you would get like a banner, like maybe every like 3 months that would be like really worth pulling for. That would have like super broken characters. Otherwise, it was just kind of like, characters were okay, but nothing special. But yeah, nowadays it's I imagine it's insanely hard to be a free-to-play player. Just with you'd always have to worry about boosts and things like that, right? And they kind of make the content these days so that you have to be able to have legends and things from previous banners or previous events in the next events, right? So it's kind of like if you don't pull, then you kind of get punished for it multiple events in a row, which is kind of a pain. But that's awesome. I wish I was fully free to play. Maybe at some point I will be. We'll see. But yeah, that's awesome that you're able to do that. And Derek says he's been grinding through the GARP challenges. I struggle with good strength teams. What strength units do you have? I'm wondering if you have like, do you have like the Nami? Do you have Usopp or Usohachi, the strength Usopp there? Do you have G5, strength G5 Luffy? What does your strength team look like? And you remind me, I have to actually do my GARP challenges. Like, I had done them way back when they were, resetting daily there, but I haven't done GARP challenges in forever. So I actually have, like, all the GARP challenges to redo because it's been probably a year since the last time I've done them. Oh, I wasn't paying attention. I thought I hit skip. Did not hit skip. Now get the pressure of tapping on stream. Alright, not great. But yeah, that was what I was hoping the skip would have gave me anyway. But yeah, Admir, I think, like, my opinion on PKA is, like, I understand why Bandai decided to implement it, and I think in practice, like, the idea is good, right? Like, hey, everyone gets a really, usually pretty good unit that's there, has a lot of good stuff to it, but I find that, for newer players especially, for older players, it's not, I don't think it's as big of a deal, because they have a bench that's super diverse, can kind of handle anything, right? Because they've been amassing characters for years, stuff like that. But if you're a new player who, like, just came into the game, like, you're probably not going to have a lot of these older units that are, like, level, remember, like, 5 and things like that to be able to, like, get up to 150, right? So, yeah, you might be able to, get up to maybe level 100 where you can get some rewards and things like that. But, like, you'll never be able to, like, meaningfully get bounty until you really start going crazy and gemming and pulling and that stuff. So that's, like, the one thing. Oh, man. Yeah, I keep running into these stamina refills. I guess it doesn't want me to stop. But yeah, that's my one complaint about PKA. Like, yeah, I can usually get it done before the event ends without too many problems, things like that. But, like, sometimes the 100 to 150, it's like they purposely design the content where you have to have, let's see, 30% chance. I don't think we'll succeed, but hey, 30% chance worked. But yeah, I wish they kind of redid that a little bit. Maybe didn't make it as inclusive to have the latest legend, or have to have a friend captain that has the latest legend, right? Because I assume just how people are typically, if someone does a friend request and they're a newer player, like if someone comes in and they're like, oh, I have like a bounty of like 10 million, right? Most players will probably be like, oh, I only have limited slots on my friends list. I'm not going to add someone who's only has 10 million, and then they kind of get the unintended badness from that because they're not getting friends who have the high characters there. So yeah, I wish they changed that structure of PKA. I like the concept. The concept was good, and I actually do like the moving the squares and doing that stuff. Like that's pretty fun. And the super coal is good to upgrade your ship. That's pretty cool. But yeah, the whole like having to grind to 150 to get bounty, and even they kind of really changed in terms of like the turtles, right? So if you remember before, you would have like 2 weeks to get to the 500 turtles, right? So yeah, if you didn't pull the boosters, like you could easily get there in 2 weeks. Now I think they're down to maybe 10 days. I think is the new one that they've done in like the last 2 PKAs. So now like you really have to grind, right? So what that usually means is you're having someone go up to level 40 or level 80 and just stopping there, right? And just grinding at that point till you have the 500 turtles, right? Which is just a pain. It's not fun. It was much better when you had a little bit more time, right? So yeah, you might say it's only like 4 more days that you get, but in reality those 4 days are really at least 12 refresh orbs, right? So yeah, it's a pain. I have some gripes about that mode. I really wish they would change some stuff about that mode, make it a little bit more friendlier for like newer players. But yeah, it seems like now it's just kind of like another like cash grab where it's like, hey, now you have to pull to get the PKA legend, right, on top of the Kazuna legend, on top of the GM legend, and then on top of any Super Sugos or anything like that they introduce. So it's a rant, but it's a kind of a pet peeve of mine, right? I want the game to be more friendly to newer players. I want people to be able to come in, pick up the game, have fun, but things like that like kill people's fun and make people not want to play. Okay, yeah, gotcha. So you got a new account, Derek. Gotcha. So Inton, Sire, your strengths. Okay. Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, it's tough because, like I said, especially if you're just starting off, you don't have like near the resources that someone who's been playing for a long time has, right? Yeah, I think they give you like a couple hundred gems, right, to pull on and get started and things like that. But yeah, like to get up to like a point where you could like consistently play, you probably have to have, a new player probably have to have like almost like 1,000 gems, right? So you could do a bunch of multis to hopefully get a good starter account. Now, I know they have like a bunch of special banners and things for new players, so I don't know how good or bad it is. I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. But what did you think about the beginner banners? Did they help you? Were they kind of like, was there anything that you found worthwhile there? Yeah, that's kind of the new structure. Like I said, they've made it so that I guess that might be the one good thing if you're a new player. If you're a new player and you come in and pull the boosted units on the content, like you'll be able to get through it like really easy without having to have like a bunch of other characters or other content there. So I mean that part's good. So that's why I'm glad that you're lucky and you're having good pulls there, because like I said, I want people to be able to stay and do things like that. But yeah, it would be nice if they gave a little bit more help to people who are starting out the game to kind of get them up to speed with things. Were you able to pull the Psy G5 Luffy? I'm just curious because he's probably like the best person you could pull from that new banner. Just wonder if you're able to grab a copy of him at least. And sorry for those of you who aren't aware of how the YouTube streaming works. So if it takes like 15-20 seconds for me to respond to you, that's just how YouTube is. It does like it, no matter what you try to do, it puts like a 15-second delay from what you're seeing on my screen versus what's actually getting played. So if it takes like 30 seconds for me to reply to you, I'm not trying to ignore you. It's just sometimes there's a delay there. So by the time I read your comment, it's already you won't hear it or hear my response till about 15 seconds after I give a response. Yeah, I mean, there'll definitely be other chances. Like I said, the bad news is you have to wait to probably an anniversary banner to be able to pull that Luffy. But like I said, he'll be on banners with a bunch of other like super OP units when he comes back. So yeah, I wouldn't worry too much about it. You'll eventually get him. Obviously, like he's so good just because of the ability to do the revive and the ability to have the 6+, right? Which has a whole different data set. He's a monster in PvP, but yeah, like I said, anniversary, the New Year's is right around the corner, and I wouldn't be surprised to see him as part of the pull rates on some of the New Year's banner or Christmas banners, depending on when that comes out. But yeah, I wouldn't be shocked to see him out there. I'm actually really surprised I haven't actually gave everyone a copy of the side G5 Luffy. Like at this point, he's been out a while. They've created a bunch of different versions, including the strength, the new int one. Like they should just give people at least one copy, right? Like what would be the harm? I know people won't pull if if they do things like that, but I think at this point, like Luffy's been out like long enough where he either everyone should be able to get him for free, or they should throw him in the bazaar to be able to get him with coins or with tickets or however they want to do it. But and how did you hear about One Piece Treasure Cruise, Derek? I'm just curious. Was it friends? Was it you saw something on the web? Just curious what drew you to One Piece Treasure Cruise. So you can see we're down to 308, right? So when we started, we were at 340 something, I think. So you can see how in just a few instances we were able to quickly let's go this way, I guess. We were able to quickly drop down a rank, right? Before we would finish a treasure map and we'd only gain like 2 or 3 position ranks, but you can see now we're gaining much more, much quicker. So for those of you who joined late, welcome to the stream. I am HappiDaze. I've been playing OPTC for about 8 years. Just started making videos not long ago. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed some. Hopefully you guys have seen some. If you have any video ideas, be sure to let me know. Would love to be able to, do any requests. If anyone has any for certain topics, could certainly do that. But appreciate you guys coming in, hanging out on a Friday night with me while I do some TM runs. Of course, feel free to ask any questions in chat. Would love to have you guys be participating and hopefully get something out of here. Yeah, we're probably going to be playing for, I don't know, maybe like another like half hour, maybe 45 minutes, something like that. Just because actually the new season of Fortnite came out, and selfishly I want to try Fortnite a little bit. I think I'm at a pretty safe spot in terms of being able to grab top 500 based on what I'm seeing now. I'm guessing if I wake up in the morning at about 8 or 9 a.m. EST, I'm guessing my rank will probably be like in the 400s, and then it's just a matter of just maintaining it for that final day. So that's kind of the game plan. That's how we're approaching it. I'm hoping that works. We'll see. It is pretty competitive once you get inside the top 500, so you always have to kind of watch out. Some people will just go crazy gemming on the final day. Most people are pretty chill about it, so we'll just have to see how that goes. I'm curious for those guys who are listening, how did you like the Grand Feast season that just came through? I'm just curious, before I give my thoughts on the game mode, I'd love to hear from you guys and think about, how you guys thought of the season, especially if you guys are new to the game. I'd love to hear your kind of thoughts on if it was good, if it was bad, if it was tough. Obviously, with the missions, I'm guessing that a lot of people were helping out people, even if they were new to the game and had lower bounty, which is probably good. But yeah, I'd love to hear from you guys some feedback of how the co-op was, I should say, not the grand fees, because that's how you get the character for the co-op. But let me know how you guys are enjoying the co-op mode if you're new to the game. Nice, Derek. So yeah, you came back after a while. Yeah, it pulls you back, right? And I think like the good news is the game has evolved for good or bad, right? It's really evolved over the years. So what's nice is like it's not like you're coming back and it's the same old stuff that was here like before you left, right? There's always new stuff going on in the game. Even though it's probably more pay to win than it was previously, there's still a lot of cool stuff going on in the game. And did you ever play the Bounty Rush? I'm curious if you ever went to there and compared it. I know, like, personally for myself, I played Bounty Rush for a while. Full disclosure, I just bought an account on Bounty Rush because it was, like, $10 and I could literally get... It was at the time when the G5 Luffy came out, and I didn't want to, like, commit to it. But I wanted to at least, like, see what it was about just to get into it. So, like, it was, like, $10 for an account that had Luffy and, like, a bunch of other, like, OP legends in it. Just to try out the game, and like I actually did enjoy Bounty Rush. It's just with my phone, it was just a pain to kind of do. I really wish we could do like controllers for Bounty Rush. So that's kind of what turned me off. And ultimately, I was like, I like the more the strategy of the OPTC as opposed to Bounty Rush, where it's kind of like just get the latest EX character and launch your special when you're near someone, right? The team building aspect is what really draws me to OPTC and why I like it so much. Oh, that's good to hear, Derek. Yeah, like I said, I think from what I've talked to for guildmates or alliance mates, I should say, and things like that, like people do really enjoy the co-op. It seemed like it was received really well. I know the first season was kind of rough because like you didn't have any way to communicate, right? So especially if you were playing with people you didn't know, like telling people like, hey, Skip, I can take care of this, was almost impossible, right? But now they added some icons, things like that. It seemed like the matchmaking is pretty good as well, and I think it's just fun, right? It's just when you get to not have to worry about doing stuff in every stage, you can rely on someone else to help you through stuff. Like that's pretty cool and that's pretty powerful, right? Because it can bring new and old players together. So glad to hear. Yeah, you like co-op. Like I said, I am a fan of the game mode. So yeah, I hope they keep it up and keep some improvements there. Yeah, same. I 100% prefer OPTC. How are you doing in TM, Derek? Are you participating in TM? Are you already done your runs, or still doing them, or not doing them? Oh, that's awesome! Yeah, that's huge. The 10 wins, right? Not only do you get a bunch of gems, you get the 50 gems, you get the bounty, you get all the title. Like, I despise. I don't say I despise. Like, I love the PvP game mode aspect of OPTC. I love Pirate Rumble. I like Grand Party up until like the last day, right, where you can't see teams, you don't have retries, things like that, right? Like I actually enjoy I really enjoy PvP just because it's fun, like building teams, right, and doing things. Saying, hey, if I swap out this character with another character, like, what happens? So yeah, it's. I wish every TM was more like this. Like, I really wish they had dropped the requirement of like 15 wins for a normal Grand Party season to like 10 or 12. I think that would be perfect, right? Let people who want to get like the title or who care about the title, like, go to 15, but give everyone the rewards at, like, 10 or 12 and just call it a day, right? Why? Most people are using the strategy where you change your captain to a rare recruit at the end of the day, so that way people can get to the 15 out of 15, but if Bandai put in a system where you had unlimited retries, and you could, you know, as long as you could beat one of those teams up until 12 wins, like, even if you had to kind of rearrange teams, right? Like make it a little bit fair, but it's just a pain, I'd imagine. And I don't know how you do in Grand Party, because obviously you probably have lower combat power, so it's probably like you're not fighting like fully crazy maxed out units like every time, but still, like, a lot of times it comes down to like RNG, and there are things where like, oh, if this would have went just like 1 second more this way, would have completely changed the match, right? So like I like the 10 out of 10 idea, but yeah, I really wish they would take a look at that and just kind of change the reward structure of Grand Party. Top 800, that's good. That's really good. Yeah, that means you'll probably finish top 1K, which is good. You'll get a bunch of gems. I think you get one legend ticket, right? Then a bunch of limit break materials, things like that. So yeah, that's not bad at all. Hopefully you're in an alliance and you can get the 100 clears with your alliance between everyone and get then even more stuff, right? You get another red ticket if you get the 100 clears and some other goodies there. So hopefully you're in an alliance and can get advantage of some of those additional buffs that you get there. And yeah, just going back to your comment about the season of Grand Party, like, that Dex team this season was nuts. Just because they're normally like a super tanky team, right? They have a lot of HP, they have a lot of attack depending what units you have. They had a bunch of new units that just came out, right, with the Roger and the Shanks. Sorry, not Shanks, Ace. So you have the new Roger, the new Ace. Obviously, Big Mom's a crazy hitter. You have the Luffy there, that the green Dex Luffy there, that can just do a revive and just, you know, rewind special cooldowns and things like that. So yeah, I mean, like, that Dex team is insane with what they can do. And on top of that, they got a whole bunch of buffs to CT reduction. They got a whole bunch of things like that. So like they really cracked this season, which is awesome, right? And they also had the legend come out that, well, I mean, they had the Kaido, right? That was green as well, which is why they buffed both the Dex and the Quick, because of the versus unit. But yeah, it's pretty crazy to see what that Dex scheme could do this season. I found like Dex and Quick, like, sometimes I'll use Dex, but yeah, this season, like, they were just on fire. I think I had one match where, like, Ace had ended up going, and he was doing, like, he took out like a whole 5 characters himself, and he ended up doing like something ridiculous, like 17k damage to all 5 of those characters, which is just nuts. Once again, welcome to the stream, everyone. I am HappiDaze, doing a live stream. We're doing some TM runs. We're well past the 100 run mark. Sorry, actually, we're well past the nav level 100 mark. We're probably sitting at about 57 or 58 total runs for this Grand Party. Or sorry, not for the Grand Party, for this TM. So we're hoping to somewhere, you know, finish top 500 is the goal. Yeah, so that's where we're at. We're grinding away. If you have any questions, throw them in the chat. If you have any topics you want to just talk about randomly, throw them in the chat. Here to just hang out and chill. Just a chill Friday night. Gotta stay hydrated on streams, right? For those of you who are in chat, let me know what rank you're at. Love to hear how you guys are going in TM. You know, what are your goals in TM? Are you aiming for top 500, top 1,000, top 2,000, just 15 million and drop? Would love to hear from you guys what your game plan strategy is for this new Super TM. And the good news too, Derek, on the first league is that if you're in the top 1,000, that means that next season you'll be able to go into the higher league, right? And the real benefit to that is the level limit break materials. So you'll find that like in the lower leagues, getting level limit break materials is really hard. But once you start getting to the upper leagues, like it's much easier to get level limit break materials, to get your characters better. The difficulty definitely, I think the difficulty just comes from the need to have different teams, right? So in like the lower leagues like East Blue, you can just have one team. Doesn't matter how boosted they are or not. You can literally just auto, right? Pretty much just throw all your highest point boosters on one team, auto, and that will work for all 5 bosses. But yeah, once you get to the Grand Line or the New World there, you have to have separate teams, right? Characters can't repeat across teams. So obviously that becomes a lot harder because that really relies on you having to have a built-out box to be able to handle that, right? And as I was saying, if you're new to the game, what they like to do is, like, they'll have, like, one boss they'll expect you to have, like, the TM Legend. One boss they'll expect you to have the Kazuna Legend. One boss they might want you to have the PKA Legend. And then, you know, for the TM, they might want you to have the TM Legend. So it becomes, like, really hard because they build content that kind of matches those characters' playsets, right? And those buffs and things like that. So it just becomes unfair if you don't have those characters, you don't have a big bench. It becomes really hard to replace those characters. Yeah, Derek, if it were me, I would personally stop. Like, Momo isn't the end-all be-all character. He's okay. Nothing special. I don't think he'll see too much play outside of this TM event. So what I would probably recommend is probably stopping at that point and saving. I think we're going to probably have a Garp Aokiji Super Sugo coming up sometime in the near future. There'll probably be another Sugo Fest with a certain character in the manga who does a certain move. I don't want to do any spoilers for those who aren't caught up, but I imagine that we'll see a version of that character coming up pretty quickly. And then not too long after that, you're going to start rolling into the New Year's banners and stuff like that. So if I was in your shoes, I would probably stop where I am now and just start saving for some of those other Sugos where the characters, you know, might be more worth it to pull, and you might get more benefit from pulling. And also, the benefit there too is I'm guessing that a lot of these characters, the One Piece characters, some of the anniversary characters, things like that, will come around on that Sugo Fest at the end of the year. So, like I said, if you want to pull some of those other characters who you didn't have from some of the anniversaries or, you know, some of the other events that happened before, then that's probably the best place to pull them. So it probably makes more sense to start saving gems for that now. Then kind of spend them all here. Yeah, I mean, if you, like, personally, like, if you got the Luffy character, like, and you're not a whale and you don't care about spending, like, a ton of money on the game, like, at that point, it probably makes sense to dip, right? He's definitely the character you want to grab out of everyone. So if you've already pulled him, like, there's literally no point wasting gems there, right? Like, yeah, you could spend gems and see if you could get, like, level limit break and stuff like that. But, like, you get one copy and dip and save your gems for better banners, right? You got the headliner banner for this event, so. Alright, so we're going into a bonus map run. So we started off with a super bonus map run, and we're coming pretty close to ending right around with a bonus map run. So the benefit to the bonus map run is, of course, you get a bunch of cards. You're guaranteed to get the boss. It's 1.5 instead of 1.2. Battle Ace, get a couple more points. So we're on the threshold of 300. So I'm hoping that with this run completed, we'll be probably somewhere in like the 298 range. And like I said, we'll probably stay right around there and see what happens overnight. I can't anticipate me dropping more than like 100 slots overnight, just because you know, I dropped about 75 last night, and that was kind of the third night is a big drop in players in terms of people pushing hard, so there's even harder drop off tonight. So hoping I wake up around like 350 roughly. Hopefully no more than 400, and that means that at that point it's just about grinding for the rest of the day just to get through and just kind of maintain at that point. I must say though, what I do like about that Luffy, going back to the Sai G5 Luffy, is like he's so versatile. Like if you saw, I was actually using him in my team to go ahead and take on Albert. One, that revive mechanic is like super broken, being able to survive any death shot, get the buffs removed, and just come back and attack is nuts. But yeah, like that unit is very versatile in terms of getting through content and just being able to steamroll both PvE and PvP content there. But like I said, the good news is if you don't have the Sai G5 Luffy, it's not like you're not going to be able to beat content. Like when he first came out, you really need him to get around content, and they developed a lot of content with the expectation that you would die and have to use his revive to or Super EX to be able to get through some gimmicks. So luckily they've calmed down on that quite a bit, so he's not probably needed as much anymore, unless you plan to go like crazy in PvP and want that side PvP team. Alright, let's see if we can go ahead and kill Ace again. Kind of mean that we have to kill Ace and then Akane was getting his 6+ shortly after. So while I have your guys' attention, and you guys are watching, and we're kind of starting to wrap up here, I'd love to hear from you guys, just commentary, like what do you like about the channel, what do you not like, are there different things you'd like to see? Would love to hear from you guys, right? So this channel is made for you guys, to give you guys the most value, the most content. Obviously, I try to get things like teams out for events, right? Especially if you don't have some of the major units there, how you can kind of build teams with just the booster units. I've been slacking a little bit lately just because personal time is sometimes tough to find some personal time to do all the videos, so I'm hoping to get much more back into a regular schedule for those things. But yeah, let me know, like if there are things you like or don't like about the channel, like feel free to always reach out to me. Let me know, or if you want to see something on the channel, certainly let me know. Like I said, I want this to be about giving you guys the most benefit, helping you guys enjoy One Piece Treasure Cruise, getting the most out of it, and that's what it's about for me. Just making sure that you guys get some good content, you can see stuff, and if there's something that you like, or certain videos or things like that that you like better than others, of course you could always let me know, and I can help tailor content to there. But yeah, that revive is insane. Yeah, it's so clutch. It's ridiculous. And again, we get some stamina, so it looks like the OPTC gods do not want us to quit. So maybe we'll do one more after this, just to see what happens there. We'll just use the pistol here just so we can kill 2 bosses quicker. I think we killed 3 so far. I think we used a slingshot at the beginning, but we'll see. Worst case, 2 bosses. Best case, 1. Alright, what are your predictions? 30% chance to raise navigation level by 4. It worked last time when we had it by 2. Survey says nada. So yeah, I really do wish they had made that a little bit more. Like, oh, now we got 50% chance. What do you think? Fail. Yeah, like, I think they should have made it like 50% to start off and then let you kind of go up from there. I think that would have been better. The good news is we got the gun, so we can at least kill 2 bosses on the next run. Keep getting yellow cards, so you'd love to see that. Ooh, yeah, we're gonna be jamming. So let's see. Worst case, if we get 1 more gold card, we could always swap it out for one of the 4s that we got if it's good. Do I want to get rid of that one? No, I think I'm just gonna get rid of the slingshot card. Like, we already have a bunch to get rid of, 3 and 2. It's not the end of the world. Let's go this way so we can get another gold card. See what we got. I will get one of the 4 gold cards just so I can get that. So yeah, so you might be saying like, why are you stocking up on that? And really, to get the most out of your TM runs and to really rank high, what you want to be doing is getting through content as quick as you can. So, and on top of that, you want to be able to get the boosted treasure birds, right? So you can get the 1.2 times boost as well. So personally, like, the slowness seems to be on this TM getting through those bosses as opposed to kind of getting a good slot and landing on one of those treasure birds there. So gambling a little bit and anticipating that kind of trend will stick around, and it'll just basically let me get through the content a lot quicker. I honestly don't know who's in the exchange shop right now. Give me 1 second to just wrap this up, and then we'll take a look and see if there's any good characters there. I mean, there have been good characters in the exchange shop. I will definitely say that. But yeah, I just don't know what the current crop that's there is. Just because they don't refresh it too often, and a lot of them are older legends. So that's good if you don't have a lot of those older legends. Like, that's the place where you can actually pull them and grab them. So that's good. But yeah, like I said, we'll hop over there in just a second once we finish these 2 battles here and just take a look, and I'll let you know if anyone in there looks good or has a lot of common uses there. The one thing I do wish they add to the exchange shop, and I don't think they've added her yet, is the Nami and Karina unit that's there. Like, that legend is so insanely broken in terms of what she can do for PvE. Like, she's not, and PvP too, right? She can do the special reverse, which is absolutely insane. But yeah, I think if she was in the exchange shop, that would be awesome and give people a lot better chance to get through a lot of content that's there. But yeah, unfortunately for us, they haven't added her to the exchange shop, I don't think, yet, so you can only pull her through banners. Now, she has been on a lot of the recent banners, which is good to that effect. But yeah, a lot of times, like I said, it's older legends that are in the shop. And the good legends, they limit you to the number of copies you can get, right? So if it's an actual like decent legend, you might only be able to get 1 copy, right? Which is kind of a bummer if you're trying to like level limit break them or things like that to be able to get a lot of their abilities that they get once they're fully leveled up there. So if you're missing like 1 copy, yeah, it's great. But there are a lot of older legends that aren't really good until they get to level limit break 5. And that's what they really want you to do, right? They want you to be able to use these level limit break 5 legends in Grand Voyage and things like that to be able to clear the content there. So yeah, I mean, if they wanted you to clear the content, they should be able to give you a little bit more than the restrictions they put on there. I've had a nickel for every time I've killed Kaido so far. I only have like $5, but still. Alright, we're gonna hop to the exchange shop in just a second, and we'll see what's in there. See if there's anyone worth pulling there. It's been so long, I have to even remember how to get there. I'm pretty sure you can get there through the banner, right? If you go to the banner, I think that there's the icon there to get there. Let's take a look. So there we go. We just eked out into the 299 range, which is kind of roughly what I thought we would be. So like I said, we'll do one more. I don't know if we'll be able to finish with the stamina we have now, but we'll see. We'll take a look at the shop, at the exchange shop first, and see what we think. So as you can see, I have quite a few medals there. So from the exchange shop, the Shirashoshi unit there, the Dex one, is actually pretty good. Just getting rid of debuffs, I would say. So she's definitely probably worth picking up. Maybe the Frankie there has some good use. All the other ones, you really won't see them in much content. So I'd say like from that first group, probably the waifu unit here, so you can just view their thing. The waifu unit here, as well as this Frankie, are probably the ones worth picking up. Just because Frankie has some stuff where you can, resist getting the blow away and things like that, which has been on some of the recent content, so that can help out if you're a newer player. In terms of the limited, pick up just one copy of these guys if you can. You probably won't use them, but there's like every year there's like one piece of content where you just need one of these random character support effects or things like that to get around it. So definitely pick up one copy of each of these units. I wouldn't recommend level limit break them or anything like that, but pick up like one copy in the limited section. And then in the character section, just taking a look, I don't really see anyone worth grabbing here who you see in a lot of content. Yeah, I would probably skip the character section. So yeah, grab the, if you don't have the copy, grab the Shirashoshi here because of the ability that they have to get rid of some buffs here. You get Despair, some of the healing debuffs that's there. They give some boosts to Dex and Int, which is okay. Yeah, those are probably the only two I would probably recommend getting from here that will help you out. So, yeah, unfortunately, right now there's not a lot of good characters in there. So I'm wondering if they're going to refresh it soon. I know it's probably been out for a while, but yeah, not many good characters out there. So let's go ahead and just finish up this last run, use the last of our stamina, and then we're probably going to call it a night there. Yeah, and I think that's the hardest part, right? Like maxing out characters, because a lot of times the characters that you're going to be using are very situation dependent, right? So it's tough to be like, oh, this character is going to be useful for all the stuff, right? And if you're on one of the beginner leagues there, like you probably aren't going to have like a full level limit break max to just max every unit you get, right? So you kind of have to be careful or selective in terms of what you're doing there. So yeah, I can understand how that might be a little bit of a pain to deal with. Another nav map failed. All right, so we need a 1, 2, or 3 to get the treasure bird. Otherwise, we are out of luck. I could have used the 4 to automatically get one. Okay, yeah, that's gonna, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, we're probably gonna miss the treasure bird on this run. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, we'll see. I don't think we'll be able to get the... I could have used the 4 and guaranteed myself the treasure bird, but yeah, it was a 60% chance to be able to get it, so it is what it is. So let's see, how do we want to go here? We'll go up this way. Please don't give us a 2. Let's go this way just so we can grab another card. I always try to prioritize getting cards. Man, we just are stockpiling those ability to kill the mini bosses there. So we'll have pretty much 12 stamina. So we'll have two opportunities to see if we can get to the boss. Otherwise, we'll have to end the TM runs here for the night. And like I said, we'll just have to see what the situation looks like in the morning to see what our total ranking is. But like I said, based on what happened last night, I don't anticipate going below rank 400 overnight. So we'll see. Never say never, but... Using Zoro to just do some quick wave clear in there. Alright, let's quickly kill Albert. Yeah, getting to 777 is really tough. Like, there's so much movement around there. Yeah, it's tough. Good luck. I hope you can get it. That would be an awesome amount of gems. But yeah, I know there's been a couple times where I originally had like tried, and I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna try to go for getting that rank. But like, it's just so variable because people can get you know, the icons on the map. They can give them points. They could, of course, you know, beat boss and give them points. And it just seemed like it was really RNG dependent, where there wasn't like a good way to be able to like time it to be able to get that rank. We're gonna just discard that because we already have a bunch that can do much more. So I don't think that 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I don't think no matter what we do, we'll have enough to be able to get to the end there. So we're going to end it with the rainbow chest. Unfortunately, we have no more stamina, and like I said, 300 is a good place to end it. Yeah, that's 75 for being under. Yeah, I got you at least 75 for being under 773, which is good. Yeah, so I mean, gems are always good, all right? No matter whether it's 5, 10, 20, 30, 50, whatever. Get gems are gems, right? And they help build the bank account for more pulls and things like that. So yeah, the 80 or 60 times boost, depending. It sounds like you're running a 60 times team. Even myself, like I think with everyone except the Momo, I think it's like 100 times booster, something like that. So yeah, like the point boosters on this TM were insane, and that was good because it helped you get to the max rewards faster, right? Especially if you're a newer player. So I definitely do like that portion of it. So yeah, with that, I'm probably going to wrap up the stream here. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. For everyone who hopped on and joined, thank you guys for coming in. Glad to have you. Glad to be a part of your Friday nights. Hopefully you had fun. Hopefully you learned something. Hopefully you made some friends while you were here. As you know, I typically try to put out videos every couple days just as new content comes out. If you ever have any thoughts or want to have specific content, shoot me an email. If you go to the HappiDaze page, you can look up my contact info there. Shoot me an email, say, hey, I want to hear about this topic, or I want to see this character. We're here to help you guys. We're here to make your OPTC journey much better. So I'm signing out like I usually sign out, but like I said, I just want to take this opportunity to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. I enjoy playing One Piece, love being out with you guys. And yeah, if you guys have any questions, reach out to me either through this channel or through game or however you want to reach out to me. And yeah, we can get hooked up and do it there. So thank you guys again so much. Have a great night. Have a great weekend. Be kind to each other and bring a little bit more kindness into this world. Thank you guys. Have a